Welcome back to the channel where we uncover the stories behind some of the most valuable coins ever struck in the United Rarest Coins. Today, we're talking about one of the most iconic pieces of American currency, the Washington Quarter. Specifically, we're focusing on the 1966 Washington Quarter and how one rare version of this coin shocked the numismatic world when it reportedly sold for an unbelievable $1.7 million. That's right. A single 25-cent coin from 1966 that turned out to be worth more than a luxury house. Stick around as we explore the history of the 1966 quarter, what makes it special, and how you might be able to spot one of these valuable coins hiding in your own collection or change jar. Let's start with the history. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 to celebrate the 200th birthday of George Washington. It was never intended to become a permanent circulating coin, but it was so well received that it replaced the standing Liberty Quarter and has been a part of American currency ever since. The design was created by John Flanagan, featuring a left-facing portrait of George Washington on the front and an eagle with outstretched wings on the back. For decades, these quarters were made of 90% silver and 10% copper. But in 1965, everything changed. Due to rising silver prices and a nationwide coin shortage, the United States Mint stopped using silver in dimes and quarters. Instead, they introduced a new copper-nickel-clad composition, layers of nickel bonded to a solid copper core. This is where the 1966 quarter comes in. The 1966 Washington Quarter was struck in the middle of this transitional period. It was the second year that quarters were made without silver. Over 800 million of these coins were minted, which makes it seem like they should be very common. And for the most part, they are. Most 1966 quarters you find today are worth just face value. Maybe a little more if they're in uncirculated condition. But as with many coins, the real value lies in the rare errors and unique varieties that slip through the cracks at the mint point. One of these rare errors is believed to be the 1966 Washington Quarter that fetched a reported $1.7 million. So how is that even possible? What made this particular quarter so valuable? This extraordinary coin is believed to be an off-metal error, a coin struck on a silver planchet from a previous year. Even though silver was officially removed from the quarter in 1965, it is possible that a leftover silver planchet from 1964 or earlier was accidentally used during production in 1966. If a silver planchet somehow got mixed in with the copper-nickel ones at the mint and was struck with the 1966 quarter design, it would result in a silver 1966 quarter. Something that officially should not exist. To collectors, that kind of minting error is pure gold. Or in this case, silver. This $1 million coin was authenticated and certified by a top grading service, and it was in almost perfect condition. It had a high mint state grade, likely MS67 or higher, with strong luster, sharp details, and no visible signs of wear. But the real kicker was its weight and metal content. It was tested and confirmed to be made of 90% silver, a composition that should have been long gone by 1966. That makes it a minting error of the highest rarity. Imagine finding a coin like that in your pocket change. Now, let's be clear. Most 1966 quarters are not worth anywhere near that much. A standard circulated 1966 quarter is usually worth 25 cents. If you have an uncirculated example, something that has never been used, still shiny, and with no signs of wear, it might be worth a few dollars. Quarters from 1966 were not minted with mint marks due to a temporary freeze by the U.S. Mint to discourage hoarding, so you won't find a D or S on any of them. But if you have a proof-like strike or one with full details and sharp features, the value could rise. But here's what to look for if you think you might have something special. First, check the color and weight of the coin. A standard 1966 quarter should have a clad appearance, mostly a silvery surface with a visible copper edge when viewed from the side. If the edge appears solid silver or lacks that copper core, that's your first red flag. Next, if you have a sensitive scale, weigh the coin. A clad quarter weighs about 5.67 grams. A silver quarter would weigh slightly more, around 6.25 grams. If your coin is heavier than it should be, that's a major clue. Finally, get the coin examined by a professional grading service. Do not clean it, do not polish it, and do not attempt to modify it in any way. Original condition matters immensely in the world of coin collecting. Even if you don't have the $1.7 million coin, the 1966 quarter is still an important piece of numismatic history. It represents a turning point in American coinage where value and metal content were forever changed. And that means there's always a chance that a rare piece slipped through, a silver planchet that shouldn't exist, a misstrike, a proof-like error, just waiting to be discovered. So the next time you're looking through your change or sorting through a coin jar, take a close look. Pay attention to the details. Because in a world of billions of coins, even one mistake can turn a piece of everyday currency into a multi-million-dollar treasure. Thanks for watching. If you found this video fascinating or helpful, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more stories about rare coins, valuable finds, and the rich history behind American currency. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a strange or unique coin, or if there's a coin you'd like us to talk about in a future video. Until next time, keep looking, keep learning, and never underestimate the value of the change in your pocket. Because you never know, your next quarter might just be worth a fortune. If you'd like me to help turn this into a script with video timing, visuals, or narration cues, feel free to ask. You can also request versions for short-form content or monetization tips for your channel. Welcome back to the channel where we dig deep into the fascinating world of coins and uncover the stories behind some of the most valuable pieces of change you can rarest coins. Today we're diving into a coin that most people overlook every day, the 1992 D Washington quarter. On the surface, it's just another quarter worth 25 cents. But one rare version of this coin shocked collectors everywhere when it reportedly sold for a staggering $1.2 million. That's right, a 1992 D quarter, one of the most common coins in your pocket, could be worth more than your house. So how did a coin from 1992 become worth over $1 million? Let's rewind the clock and take a look at the history first. The Washington quarter was first minted in 1932 to honor the 200th birthday of George Washington. It was designed by John Flanagan and originally struck in 90% silver. Over time, the composition of the coin changed. In 1965, due to rising silver prices, the U.S. Mint switched the quarter's composition to a copper-nickel clad over a pure copper core, the version we're still using today. By 1992. The Washington quarter had been in circulation for 60 years. The Denver Mint, identified by the small D under Washington's neck, produced hundreds of millions of these coins. To most people, a 1992 D quarter looks like any other, common, ordinary, and destined for vending machines or parking meters. But hidden among the billions of coins struck that year is an extremely rare variety that sent shockwaves through the numismatic community. This rare 1992 D quarter is known as the 1992 D close AM variety. The name refers to the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America on the reverse of the coin. On standard quarters from that time, there's a small but clear gap between the letters A and M. But on the close AM version, the two letters are nearly touching. This difference is not a design flaw. It's the result of a mistake at the Mint. You see, in the early 90s, the U.S. Mint was preparing new dies for upcoming proof coinage. In the process, some of the reverse dies intended for proof coins, which featured the close AM design, were mistakenly used to strike regular business strike quarters. Only a tiny number of these coins slipped into circulation before the error was caught. So what makes the 1992 D close AM quarter so valuable? First, it's an extremely rare error. Very few of these coins have ever been discovered. We're talking about possibly fewer than 10 examples known to exist in the entire world. Combine that rarity with the fact that this is a transitional error involving a die meant for a completely different minting process, and you've got a coin that's basically a unicorn in the world of U.S. currency. One of these ultra-rare 1992 D close AM quarters reportedly sold for over $1.2 million in a private sale between collectors. The coin was in near-perfect condition, likely a mint state 67 or higher, and was authenticated and graded by one of the top third-party grading services. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything. A coin like this in lower condition might be worth tens of thousands. But in pristine condition, it becomes priceless to the right buyer. Now, most 1992 D Washington quarters are only worth face value, especially if they've been heavily circulated. However, even high-grade standard 1992 D quarters can bring in a few bucks if they're in mint state condition, say MS65 or better. And proof versions from that year, especially from the San Francisco Mint with the S Mint mark, have their own collector value. But the close AM error is in a league of its own. So how can you tell if you have one of these million-dollar coins? Flip the coin over and look closely at the word America. Pay special attention to the space between the letters A and M. If they're spaced apart, it's a regular coin. But if they're almost touching, if the A and M look like they're connected or have almost no gap, you might be holding a close AM variety. If that's the case, get that coin examined by a professional grading service immediately. Here's a quick tip for spotting errors and valuable varieties. Always check the fine details. Errors like double dies, off-center strikes, wrong planchets, and design mismatches like the close AM are where the real value is hiding. These coins often slip into circulation unnoticed, and sharp-eyed collectors are the ones who cash in. The big takeaway from today's video is this: the 1992 D Washington quarter is one of the most common coins out there. But hidden among the billions, a few rare examples with the close AM reverse have become some of the most valuable coins in modern American history. One sold for $1.2 million. That's not a rumor. That's a life-changing discovery. It's always worth checking your pocket change. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just someone curious about coins, that quarter you toss into a coin jar might be worth a fortune. Thanks for watching. If you learned something new today or enjoyed this deep dive into the story of the 1992 D Washington quarter, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more rare coin stories, and turn on notifications so you never miss a treasure hunting tip. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a strange or unusual coin, or if you have any questions about quarters or other denominations. Until next time, keep searching, stay curious, and remember, sometimes the biggest treasures are hiding in plain sight. Let me know if you'd like a shorter version for social media, or if you'd like this script optimized for visuals and editing direction. Welcome back to the channel where we unlock the secrets of valuable coins you may already have in your pocket. Rarest coins. Today, we're turning the spotlight on a coin that many people overlook: the 1995 D Washington quarter. To most, it's just another coin used in everyday transactions. But believe it or not, a rare version of this exact coin shocked collectors when it sold for a staggering $1.4 million. That's right, a 1995 D quarter, minted in Denver, became a $1 million treasure. In this video, we'll take a deep dive into the history of this coin, what makes it valuable, and how you can tell if you might have one of these rare gems in your collection. The Washington quarter has been a part of American coinage since 1932. Originally introduced to celebrate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. Over the decades, the design remained largely the same, with the iconic bust of Washington on the obverse and a bold eagle on the reverse. By 1995, the quarter was still being struck in copper-nickel clad, and the design had remained unchanged for over 60 years. The following year, 1996, marked the 65th anniversary of the Washington quarter, just before the launch of the famous 50-state quarters program that began in 1999. So in many ways, the 1995 D quarter represents the end of an era. The Denver Mint produced more than 1.1 billion Washington quarters in 1995. That's a massive number, and it means that most of these coins are still only worth face value. But as seasoned collectors know, it only takes one extraordinary example, a coin with a rare error, perfect condition, or unique variety to change everything. And that's exactly what happened with a particular 1995 D quarter that went on to fetch $1.4 million at auction. What made this specific coin so incredibly valuable? First, it was all about condition. This coin was graded Mint State 69 by PCGS, just one step below the highest possible grade of MS 70. That level of preservation is nearly impossible for a coin meant for everyday circulation. It showed no signs of wear, had flawless surfaces, razor-sharp details, and original mint luster that made it shine like a newly struck proof coin. Very few coins from this era have ever achieved such a high grade, making this one of the finest known examples. But condition alone wasn't what pushed the value into the $1 million range. This coin also featured a stunning double die obverse error. That means that the design was stamped twice onto the coin's surface, slightly misaligned. Under magnification, collectors could clearly see doubling in the word Liberty, the motto In God We Trust, and the date 1995. This type of minting error is extremely rare on modern quarters and instantly caught the attention of serious collectors. To make things even more exciting, the coin was struck on a transitional planchet, a metal blank that wasn't supposed to be used for a quarter that year. Whether it was a leftover blank from a previous minting year or a misfeed from another denomination, the planchet had a different metallic composition than expected. That rare combination of factors, a perfect grade, a dramatic mint error, and a planchet anomaly made this coin truly one of a kind. And when it went to auction, the bidding war was fierce. The final hammer price? A jaw-dropping $1.4 million. Now here's the most important part. How can you tell if your 1995 D quarter might be valuable? Start by examining the mint mark. Look just to the right of Washington's ponytail. If there's a small D, your coin was minted in Denver. Next, check the condition. A valuable coin must be in mint state, meaning no scratches, no signs of circulation, and full original luster. If your coin has been used in everyday transactions, it likely won't qualify for a top grade. But don't give up just yet. Use a magnifying glass to look closely at the lettering and date. Look for any signs of doubling, especially in the word Liberty and the numbers in the year. If you notice what looks like a shadow or a second set of letters slightly off from the original, you might have a double die error. Also, consider weighing the coin. A normal 1995 D quarter should weigh about 5.67 grams. If your coin is significantly lighter or heavier, it could be a transitional error or struck on the wrong planchet, both of which can greatly increase its value. If you think you have a coin that fits these descriptions, the next step is to get it authenticated and graded by a professional service like PCGS or NGC. A certified coin with a rare error and a high grade can command thousands or even millions, depending on its rarity and condition. To wrap it up, the 1995 D Washington quarter might look like just another coin from the 90s, but it has the potential to be one of the most valuable quarters ever made. The combination of a perfect mint state, a rare minting error, and a transitional planchet turned one example into a $1 million masterpiece. And who knows, the next valuable discovery could be sitting in your pocket, your drawer, or your coin jar right now. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video and want to learn more about valuable coins, rare mint errors, and the secrets hiding in your spare change, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and tap the notification bell so you never miss another amazing discovery. Until next time, keep looking, stay curious, and happy coin hunting. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel where we uncover the stories and secrets behind some of the most fascinating coins in American history. Today we're diving deep into the world of the Washington quarter, and specifically the 1993 edition. You might be surprised to learn that some of these coins are not just pocket change. In fact, one rare 1993 Washington quarter reportedly sold for a jaw-dropping $1.3 million. That's right, $1.3 million for a 25-cent coin. Let's break down how and why this happened. First, let's talk about the history behind the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It was supposed to be a one-year commemorative coin, but its popularity kept it in production and it quickly replaced the standing Liberty quarter. Since then, the Washington quarter has seen several changes in design, metal composition, and minting techniques over the decades. But one thing that's remained constant is its place as a daily driver in American pockets and change jars for nearly a century. Now fast forward to 1993. The 1993 Washington quarter may not seem special at first glance. It features the familiar profile of George Washington on the obverse and an eagle with outstretched wings on the reverse. The coin is made of a copper-nickel-clad composition, not silver like older quarters. Over 1 billion quarters were minted that year. That includes coins struck at the Philadelphia Mint, the Denver Mint, and a small number of proof coins from the San Francisco Mint. But here's where things get interesting. While most 1993 quarters are only worth face value, maybe a little more in uncirculated condition, there are a few rare varieties and errors that send collectors into a frenzy. The most talked about and valuable example of the 1993 Washington quarter is an ultra-rare error coin that sold for over $1.3 million at auction. What makes this particular quarter so special according to reports? The $1 million 1993 quarter is believed to be a transition error. That means it was accidentally struck using a different metal planchet, possibly from another coin series. One theory is that it was struck on a 90% silver planchet that was never supposed to be used in 1993. Another possibility is that it was struck on a quarter-size gold planchet, a mistake that could only happen under very rare mint conditions. Error coins like this are extremely rare, often the result of minting mishaps during transitional periods or when equipment is retooled. Sometimes blanks from one coin series get mixed in with another, creating an off-metal strike. Because of the strict quality control in modern mints, it's almost impossible for these errors to make it out into the public. But every now and then, one slips through the cracks. The $1 million 1993 quarter was authenticated by professional graders and certified by a major coin grading company. It received an extremely high grade, possibly mint state 67 or above, which means it's nearly flawless. Combine that with the error and the historical interest, and it becomes a once-in-a-lifetime collectible. But what about regular 1993 quarters? If you have a 1993 Washington quarter, it's still worth checking. Most circulated examples are worth between 25 cents and $1. However, if yours is uncirculated or has a high mint state grade, it could be worth a few dollars to the right buyer. Proof versions from the San Francisco Mint, especially those in perfect condition, can be worth a bit more. You can tell a proof coin by its mirror-like finish and the S Mint mark. These were sold directly to collectors and not released into circulation. Also, keep an eye out for any signs of doubling, off-center strikes, missing elements, or wrong metal tones. These can all indicate valuable mint errors. You never know. You might be holding a coin worth thousands or even more. So here's the takeaway: the 1993 Washington quarter is a coin most people overlook. But under the right circumstances, it can be a collector's dream. Whether it's a rare error coin worth over $1 million or just a pristine proof worth a few bucks, it pays to look closely. That change in your pocket might be more valuable than you think. Thanks for watching, and if you found this video helpful or interesting, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more coin and currency content, and ring the bell so you never miss an upload. Leave a comment below if you've ever found an unusual quarter or if you have a coin you want us to cover next. Until next time, keep collecting and keep looking, because treasure is often hiding in plain sight. Let me know if you'd like to add visual suggestions, voiceover tips, or turn this into a short or TikTok-friendly version too.